Eddie, this is a real good one. Now, you're going to get a kick out of this. I know I did when I heard it. They'll tell you that priests have no power. You know? They'll tell you that. But don't you believe it. Don't you believe it. Priest has power. There was a priest in Leenane one time, and as you know, the life of a priest in a country place is an awful, lonely, miserable life. And back in my country in those days, people were kind of shy off a priest, keep away from them as much as they could, except to go to Mass on a Sunday and confession. That was it. Beyond that, you kept away from the priest. So that meant that the poor priest was there on his lonesome. And it's awful lonely when you have no one to talk to or to come in and visit you or invite you into their houses or something. So anyway, this priest was there, and he was lonesome, and he was human, and because he was lonesome and human, he took a tonic. John Jimison or Powers or whatever happened to come along, he took a tonic. You couldn't blame him. I wouldn't blame him, no way. As my mother used to say, it's a good man's fault to be fond of the drop, because her father, he was fond of it. But it seems the Archbishop got wind of the little binding of it and but anyway, the Archbishop was going to come out from Westport. The Archbishop of Tuam is the parish priest of Westport. Now my hometown where I was born and baptized and confirmed it. And the priest in Westport is not the parish priest or the pastor as we call him. He is the administrator. That's what he is, the administrator, because the parish priest of Westport is the Archbishop of Tuam. That's his parish, and he's the parish priest. So the man who's in his place is just the administrator. But anyway, the bishop, the Archbishop, had sent word to a man to be home on such a day that he was coming out to. So the word got out anyways that he was on his way. And of course the poor priest knew what was going to happen if he got out, that he'd be in trouble, because too many good priests were silenced. And maybe they shouldn't have been silenced. You see, maybe they should not have been silenced, because that priest's life is an awful lonely life. Now, why is it that your Protestant ministers have wives and kids? They have wives and kids because they're human. And I don't be surprised if you see our priests having wives and kids too. The apostle said, don't think I'm a radical, but that's it. You wait and see, because without it, if you haven't a wife in your house and a bunch of kids, you're an awful lonely guy. I'm telling you. Oh boy, are you. So anyway, he had a carriage, the Archbishop, and a Jarvey that would sit up on top, his driver. And he was up in the rain, and he had a good old coat to keep the rain out. But then the place where the Archbishop sat was glassed in. You see, and he was dry, no matter how the weather come. But the poor old devil that was driving, he was out. So he had these two beautiful bred horses. And they would really tear up the road, coming out in a fast trot. in a four-wheel carriage under the bishop. And he was coming out to tell off, put the skids on the poor father, I won't mention his name. And he knew he was coming. So the father decided, that's what you think, fella. You think you're coming? I better stop to your gallop. So those horses are coming out at a flying trot and coming out the road. 20 miles was nothing to them. They were well fed, they were well bred, and 20 miles was just a workout for them. So out from Leenane to Westport to Leenane. So anyway, coming up around Shrallay, that's down near the halfway house. The next thing was the horses came to a sudden stop on the road, and they shook the bishop up a little bit because there was a sudden stop. There was two horses buried their forelegs in the ground, and they stood dead on their tracks, like from a flying trot to nothing. That's quite a shock. Well, the poor guy above on top, he got up his whip and he hit these horses, and they danced, but they backed up, but they would not go forward. Listen, they would not go forward. So the priest, the bishop, stuck his head out the glass door of the carriage and told him to get down and lead him. So he got down and he led them. No way would they pass where they stopped. He got up again and he tried to drive them. He backed them up, swung them around on the road and tried to come at it again, and they came to that point, and that was it. The priest in Leenane had them blocked. He had them blocked right there. That's as far as they were coming, and that was it. So finally, the bishop said to him, or the archbishop rather, he says, turn around and go back to Westport. So the man was delighted. He swung his horses around and they went back to Westport, and that was it. But the bishop never got to chastise his poor priest in Leenane. Now, that is supposed to be gospel. I wasn't there in those days, but I heard all about it.